When a woman rejects you at first glance, it doesn't always mean she hates you or that you're not good enough. Sometimes it's a mirror, a test, a silent question she's asking without words. Can you handle me? Can you handle life? Can you handle yourself? Rejection is rarely about the surface. It's often about the depths. And in that depth, she's not trying to destroy you. She's trying to see you. Most men crumble at the first sign of rejection. They take it as the final verdict, the end of the story. But the truth is different. Rejection can be the beginning of your evolution. It's an X-ray of your character. It's where your confidence is no longer a performance, but a presence. Today, we're going to go deeper into why women test you by rejecting you first and how you can transform that moment of pain into a point of power. Stay with me, because by the end of this talk, you'll never look at rejection the same way again. Rejection is an emotional test, not a verdict. When a woman turns you down or steps back at first, she is often observing something deeper than the words you speak. She is watching your reactions, your micro-expressions, your ability to stay centered when things do not go your way. Think of a time when you applied for a job you really wanted and the interviewer pushed you with hard questions, not because they hated you, but because they wanted to see how you think under pressure. In relationships, it's very similar. That initial rejection or hesitation is like a stress test for your emotional foundation. It's not a closed door. It's a way of asking without words. Who are you when things are not easy? Imagine you walk into a cafe, you see someone you admire, you strike up a conversation, and she dismisses you politely. Your ego wants to feel hurt and humiliated, but your deeper self can choose calmness. Instead of rushing to prove yourself or withdrawing in anger, you breathe, you smile, you respect her boundary, you stay poised. That small moment communicates volumes about your character. She sees a man who is not defined by her approval. And in a world where so many people chase validation, that steadiness is rare and magnetic. Life mirrors this pattern in countless ways. When you start a new business and your first few clients reject you, the market is testing your endurance. When you release a creative project and critics push back, they are testing your conviction. A woman's initial rejection works in the same psychological realm. It is not about cruelty. It is about calibration. She is trying to calibrate your emotional intelligence, your sense of self, your ability to stand in your own worth. Most people think rejection is a judgment, but it's more like a training ground. It's where the weak crumble and the grounded rise. Picture two men. The first hears no once and storms off angry and embarrassed. The second hears no, smiles, and continues his day with dignity, not taking it personally. Later, that same woman notices his consistency, his calm, his life moving forward. Without a single word, he has passed the test because he revealed he does not seek value from her response, but from his own self-respect. That is powerful. That is attractive on a level far beyond looks or charm. This shift in perception is everything. When you start to see rejection as feedback rather than a final judgment, your entire energy changes. You stop playing defense. You start focusing on your growth, your composure, your higher self. And that shift radiates outwards. It makes you magnetic. Not because you're trying to impress, but because you've mastered the art of not collapsing under pressure. In daily life, people instinctively trust those who can stay steady when things don't go their way. The ability to stay calm in the face of rejection signals strength, emotional maturity, and leadership. Women feel it, people feel it, and the world responds to it. Emotional stability is more attractive than charm. Imagine two people walking into a room. One has all the smooth lines, the perfect smile, the trendy clothes and rehearsed compliments. The other is quiet but grounded, breathing steadily, eyes calm, posture relaxed, energy centered. Over time, people gravitate to the second person because stability makes them feel safe, respected, and understood. Charm may win attention for a moment, but emotional stability earns trust for a lifetime. Think about your own experiences. When you've been upset or anxious, do you reach for the friend who talks fast and flatters you, or the one who listens, stays composed, and brings a sense of peace into the room? This truth shows up everywhere. In workplaces, bosses promote the person who keeps their cool under pressure rather than the one who only shines when things are easy. In families, children feel secure with parents who stay calm rather than explode with every mistake. In relationships, women instinctively look for a partner whose emotions are steady whose moods don't swing wildly, who can handle disappointment and setbacks without losing his center. It's not about suppressing your feelings, but about regulating them, about becoming the kind of man whose energy feels like a lighthouse rather than a firecracker. Picture a woman testing you with a sharp comment, a moment of silence, or even walking away. She's not always doing it to hurt you. Often she's unconsciously scanning for how you handle tension. Will you explode, sulk, panic, or will you stay grounded? Respect her space and let her know through your presence that you're secure in yourself. That security is rare and it's magnetic. A calm response in a heated moment can feel more powerful than 1,000 charming words. Your tone, your breathing, your body language can quietly say, I'm not here to control you or prove myself. I'm here because I respect both of us. Think of daily life examples. When traffic cuts you off, do you honk, scream, and lose control, or do you breathe and continue driving? When a friend cancels plans last minute, do you lash out or do you calmly adjust? When someone criticizes your work online, do you spiral or do you evaluate it and move forward? These micro moments build your emotional muscles. They teach you the art of remaining centered while the world tests you. Women notice these things deeply. It tells them you're reliable, you're trustworthy, and your worth is not built on external reactions, but on internal strength. Emotional stability is not built overnight. It grows from self-awareness, reflection, healthy habits, and a deep decision to stop letting small storms shake your inner ground. It's about being able to listen before reacting, to breathe before speaking, to choose your response rather than being dragged by impulses. This is what creates that invisible gravity around a person, that sense of calm power that others can feel even without words. When you cultivate this energy, you stop trying to charm your way into hearts because your very presence becomes the invitation. People sense your calmness and want to be near it because in a chaotic world, stability feels like a rare air and precious shelter. Rejection reveals your real confidence. It's easy to look confident when everything is going your way, when people are smiling at you, when doors are opening, when validation flows like water. But the moment someone says no, the moment life closes a door, the moment you're left standing alone without applause, that is where the truth of your confidence shows up. Think about the last time you faced rejection. Maybe it was a job, a relationship, a business pitch, or even a simple conversation where someone dismissed you. In that split second, your true self surfaced. Did you shrink? Did you lash out? Did you panic? Or did you breathe and stand your ground with quiet dignity? Real confidence is not a performance. It's not the polished lines, the rehearsed smiles, or the curated social media image. Real confidence lives in the silence after a no. It's in the way you carry yourself when no one is watching, the way you speak to yourself in your own head when things don't go as planned. Imagine two men at a party. One is laughing loudly, touching everyone's shoulder, telling story after story. The other is quieter, but his eyes are steady, his body relaxed, his energy grounded. A woman tests both of them with a little rejection. One collapses into defensiveness. The other smiles, says thank you, and continues his evening. Who seems more attractive, more trustworthy, more magnetic? Look at daily life examples. A sports team loses a match. Some players blame the referee, shout at fans, and storm off the field. Others breathe, shake hands with their opponents, and commit to training harder. The second group reveals their real confidence. Or take a business owner who launches a product and faces criticism online. The insecure owner deletes comments, lashes out, and hides. The confident owner listens, improves, and stays visible. Rejection in all these cases is like a mirror showing who you really are beyond the mask. It strips away the costume and leaves only character. When a woman rejects you at first, she's not just saying no to a date or an idea. She's unconsciously watching how you handle that no. Do you insult her, chase her, or crumble? Or do you remain calm, smile, and respect her boundary? That single moment says more about your self-worth than an entire hour of smooth talking. She's not only observing your reaction to her, but also sensing how you react to life itself. Confidence is attractive because it signals safety, direction, and inner stability. When you don't need her approval to feel whole, paradoxically, you become more appealing. This is why rejection can be one of the most powerful teachers in your life. It cuts through the illusion you've built and invites you to upgrade your inner world. If your confidence was built on external validation, rejection will expose it. But if your confidence was built on self-respect, growth, and inner alignment, rejection will only polish it, making you even stronger, calmer, and more magnetic in the process. Rejection separates surface interest from deeper connection. It is like a sieve that life uses to filter out what is temporary from what is real. At the start of any connection, whether it's a friendship, a job, or a romantic interest, everything can look exciting on the surface. People smile, they say the right things, they present the best version of themselves. But when a small challenge appears, when the answer is not instant approval, when a boundary is placed, that is when the truth begins to show. Imagine two people applying for the same role. One is only there for the paycheck, the other is there for the passion of the work. As soon as the interviewer asks tough questions or delays the decision, the first one fades away while the second one stays persistent. Rejection is not punishment. It is an invitation to prove depth. This is why so many first impressions and early sparks fade. They were built on surface interest. The real bond starts to grow when both sides have seen each other's imperfections, disappointments, and boundaries. Think about your own experiences. How many times has someone entered your life full of enthusiasm but disappeared as soon as you said no to something? They were not there for the connection. They were there for the convenience. Rejection filters them out. It's like shaking a tree in autumn. The weak leaves fall, the strong branches remain. What remains after rejection is almost always stronger, more honest, and more aligned. Imagine a woman testing you at the start of knowing you. She may not even know she's doing it. Maybe she cancels plans once. Maybe she says no to a small offer. Maybe she distances herself to see if you will chase or if you will stay grounded. That moment is not cruelty. It is a silent question. Are you here for real or are you here for validation? If your interest was only on the surface, you will become resentful, impatient, or disappear. But if your interest is genuine, you will still respect her. You will still show up with calm energy. You will still move forward with your own life while keeping the door open with dignity. Look at daily life examples. When a business pitches to investors and gets rejected the first time, the ones who are only chasing quick money walk away. The ones who believe in their vision refine their pitch and return stronger. Or in friendships, the person who values you only for favors will vanish when you set boundaries. The person who values you for who you are will stay even when you say no. Rejection acts like a purifier. It burns away the illusions and leaves only the essence. In relationships, this means that after rejection, if connection still grows, it is no longer based on fantasy but on reality, on respect. And on deeper resonance, this shift in perception is powerful because it frees you from the fear of no. Instead of seeing rejection as humiliation, you see it as a sorting mechanism. You no longer cling to everyone who smiles at you. You start to trust the process of elimination. You understand that real bonds are tested and that testing strengthens the foundation. Rejection is not the end of connection, but the beginning of truth. It forces both people to reveal whether they are showing up for ego or for authenticity. And from that place, something deeper can start to form. Rejection is an invitation to self-work. It is life's way of holding up a mirror and asking you to look closer, not at the person who rejected you, but at yourself. When someone says no, it is easy to point outward, to blame, to question their choices, to feel like a victim. But the truly powerful use rejection as a signal, a lesson, a chance to grow. Think of it like going to the gym. You don't grow stronger by lifting air. You grow stronger by pushing against resistance. Rejection is that resistance for your character, your emotional maturity, and your self-awareness. It is life saying, here is a weight, lift it and become stronger. Imagine you apply for your dream job and they turn you down. Your first instinct might be pain, embarrassment, or anger. But if you look deeper, it can also be a teacher. Maybe it shows you where your skills need improvement. Maybe it exposes habits you need to refine. Maybe it highlights how much your identity is tied to external approval. That realization can change the entire trajectory of your life. Or imagine you're interested in someone and they decline. That moment hurts, but it also invites you to examine how much of your worth you had outsourced to their response. You begin to reclaim it piece by building habits, skills, and self-respect that don't depend on anyone's yes. Look at how athletes handle failure. The best runners don't stop when they lose a race. They watch the footage, they analyze their stride, they train harder, they adjust their mindset. The loss becomes the blueprint for their next victory. Or think of an artist who submits work to a gallery and is rejected. A shallow response would be to quit or complain. But the artist who grows uses that rejection as fuel to refine their style, deepen their craft, and sharpen their message. Over time, those rejections become stepping stones to mastery. Rejection from a woman, from a company, from an opportunity works in the same way. It is a disguised invitation to become more, to grow into the version of yourself who can hold what you're asking for. Picture this in daily life. You approach someone with confidence. They turn you down. You can spiral. Or you can start a new routine, improve your communication, work on your health, strengthen your social presence, develop your purpose. Every act of self-work you do after rejection makes you more grounded, more magnetic, more independent. And as you build that foundation, you no longer fear rejection because you see it as a compass pointing toward growth. In a world where many people avoid discomfort, being the one who uses discomfort as transformation makes you stand out naturally. You stop seeking validation and start seeking evolution. This is where rejection stops being an enemy and starts being your greatest teacher, showing you what to upgrade, what to heal, and what to elevate inside yourself. Every moment you have listened today has been leading you to one truth, so simple yet so powerful. Rejection does not define you, it refines you. It is not a wall, it is a doorway. It is not a punishment, it is preparation. The way you walk through that doorway will decide who you become. So when life says no, when a person says no, when the world feels like it is closing in, remember that your value is not up for negotiation. Your worth does not shrink because someone cannot see it. Your spirit does not fade because someone cannot hold it. The greatest souls in history have walked through rejection and emerged unshaken because they knew rejection was only a test of their patience, their resilience, and their vision. There is a moment after every no when you can choose to collapse or choose to rise. Choose to rise. The one who rises becomes the author of his own story. As Denzel Washington once said, fall forward. As Nelson Mandela once said, I never lose, I either win or learn. As Steve Jobs once said, you can't connect the dots looking forward. You can only connect them looking backwards. These words are not just quotes. They are living proof that rejection is not the end of the road, but the curve in the road. The curve where you find out who you really are. In those moments of doubt, speak to yourself as the strongest version of you would speak. Say to yourself, I am not what happens to me. I am what I choose to become. Say to yourself, I am built to rise. Say to yourself, rejection is my training ground, not my graveyard. Think about the times you were rejected and later realize it was the best thing that could have happened to you. Think about the job you didn't get that pushed you toward your real calling, the person who left you and made space for your healing, the opportunity you missed that led you to your own creation. In the moment it hurt, but later it became your foundation. This is the rhythm of life. Rejection redirects you to where your soul needs to be. You cannot see it now, but you will see it soon. So let the rejection burn away the parts of you that were built on approval. Let it forge the parts of you that are built on truth. Let it make you unshakable. You are stronger than the no. You are deeper than the silence. You are more than the person you were before the test. And when you begin to live with this awareness, you will no longer be frightened of rejection. You will welcome it like an athlete welcomes the weight, like a creator welcomes the blank page, like a leader welcomes the challenge. Every rejection is a stepping stone. Every test is a mirror. Every no is a disguised yes to a bigger vision. The world belongs to those who can stay grounded when the wind blows, to those who can keep moving when the path bends, to those who can hold their dignity when others. Speak to yourself with the fire of a champion and the calm of a sage. Tell yourself, I will not be moved by rejection. I will be moved by purpose. Tell yourself, I will stand tall even when the room is empty. Tell yourself, my presence is my power. My patience is my weapon. My persistence is my proof right now. As you hear these words, you have the chance to decide how you will meet the next rejection. Will you let it define you, or will you let it reveal you? Will you see it as a wound or as a workshop? Remember the people who inspired you, the mentors, the icons, the creators. Every single one of them stood in the same place you are now and chose to see rejection as the beginning of greatness. You have that same choice. You have that same strength. And when you walk out of this moment, walk with the energy of someone who no longer fears the no, who no longer chases approval, who no longer gives away their power. Walk as someone who knows that every rejection is a signal that something greater is coming, a call to elevate, a test to reveal the steel inside your soul. Walk as someone who can look rejection in the eye and whisper, "Thank you for shaping me. Thank you for refining me. Thank you for proving that I am more than enough.